Now this next step depends a lot on the vehicle presentation. Is the vehicle upright and on four wheels? Is it precariously positioned on the edge of a ravine or on an overpass? How safe is the vehicle to actually approach? If the vehicle is safe to approach, then as that initial arriving company, go ahead and approach the vehicle and conduct a 360 of the vehicle itself. During that 360, you want to make sure that you see all four sides of the vehicle, that you look under the vehicle for additional fuel spills or any hazards underneath, and that you're trying to get a visual image of the victim or victims. You want to apply a triage process and try and prioritize based on the presentation of the vehicles and the presentation of the victims where your starting point is going to be, where your most critically damaged vehicle is, and where your most critically injured patients are. While you're doing that 360 and developing that action plan or that formulative thought process, you want to try and gain access to the vehicle. We always want to try before we pry and keep things simplistic. So make sure that you're trying all of the door handles, that you're evaluating where any open glass areas may already be in existence. If you can gain access to any of the vehicles through the door handles, utilize that as an access point. Typically speaking, when we occupy the vehicle to do a visual and physical assessment of the victims, we also want to have the priority of continuing that making it safe process of the vehicle itself. When we access, we typically want to do it from the rear seating area. We want to evaluate whether the presence of side curtain airbags are in place and whether or not they've deployed. If they haven't deployed, we want to use extreme caution when accessing the vehicle through the window openings or through any open doors. We want to gain access to the rear seating area because it's a relatively safe haven to access the keys of the ignition as well as the transmission elements to ensure that the vehicle is in park, when compared to accessing through either the driver's compartment or the passenger's compartment. The dual frontal airbags have a much larger expansion range than the side curtain airbags do. They're also dual stage airbags that have the ability to potentially deploy even once deployed or cause a propellant to ignite and burn inhabitants or anyone in that space. So remember to always try and access those key elements from the rear seating area. Once we've gained access to the rear, establish that visual and physical assessment of the victim, we're then going to go ahead and engage that activity of making the vehicle safe, turning the keys off, putting the vehicle in park. Whoever that inhabitant is, you want to make sure that you have appropriate PPE on to get inside of the vehicle. So make sure that you've got a full complement of turnout gear on. You can then hold manual C-spine if appropriate, and then go ahead and do the rest of your assessment of that victim. That kind of ends the interior occupation responsibilities of that initial arriving company.